Hello, BookTube. Well, it's that melancholy moment. It's the last mail haul of the week. This has been a boffo week for books, for Steve. I swear, since last Saturday, I must have taken into this little house 200 books. Of all kinds. We've seen tiny little things, gigantic books. And here we have a nice stack of mail. There are quite a few boxes, including a big one at the end that I think I know. I think I know what it is. And if it's what I think it is, it's quite special. So let's see here. Let's make some room here and see what we've got. First one is from Europa Editions, which is a great publisher of fiction, the occasional nonfiction. They aren't even going to pay attention to me. They found the love of their life in Matthew from MCA's books. Unfortunately, I can't match. Sometimes a publisher and a reader are a match made in heaven. They are perfectly aligned with each other, and I think that match is happening before our eyes over on his channel. But nevertheless, I love Europa. So what do we got here? Okay, this is translated from the French. This is Nothing But Dust by Sandrine Collette. And it's going to have horsies on the cover. That's what it's going to look like. And this is, what is this? Told in stark language reminiscent of the novels of Cormac McCarthy. Thanks for the warning. And the Southern Gothic of William Faulkner. Oh boy, oh boy. Steve's greatest hits. This novel is a gripping, unsentimental, ultimately majestic story of life in one of the most inhospitable places on Earth. By the time Raphael is born, the family farm has already gone to hell. His father has abandoned them, or so his mother claims. The twins Mauro and Joaquin blame Raphael for their father's departure and exact revenge on their baby brother in increasingly violent ways. Esteban, the other sibling, is a silent boy whose affections and allegiances change with the shifting winds. Ruling over this dysfunctional roost is a tyrannical and avaricious mother, a woman who works her sons to the bone by day and gambles away the profits by night. So this takes place on the steppes of Patagonia. Interesting. And it comes out in November, so I have time. I have time to get to this. And it's, it's translated by Alison Anderson. And the English title is Nothing But the Dust. So this is a bleak family drama on the Patagonian steppes. Let's see. Let's move on to this next one. Oh, a bunch of boxes to end this episode. Oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? Oh. Okay, well, I approve of the cover. This is Debbie Macomber, a favorite of mine. There is our author. And this is Alaskan Holiday with some pudgy puppies on the cover. This is just a Christmas-themed romance. But I bet it comes out in October. Christmas-themed or no. Yeah, it does. It comes out in early October. She's immensely popular. She sits down and writes a book, and she works on it, and then she delivers it. She knows exactly. She's written just 100 books, and she knows exactly what her fans like, and I'm one of those fans, so I'm all set. Let's see. Let's see what this next one is. What are you going to get next? It's so weird to have a dog who can jump up on hind legs after a basset hound. That's just so weird. Oh, okay. This comes out next week, and it's from Harvard University Press, but I somehow missed it. I don't think I got an advanced copy of this at all. This is The Economics and Religion of India. It's very thin for such a huge subject. Religion has not been a popular target for economic analysis. Yet the tools of economics can offer deep insights into how religious groups compete, deliver social services, and reach out to potential converts. How, in daily life, religions nurture and deploy market power. Well, that's fascinating. And this is by Shreya Iyer, who is a Bibby Fellow and College Lecturer at St. Catherine's College and affiliated lecturer at Janeway Fellow in Economics at the Faculty of Economics at the University of Cambridge. Try fitting that on a business card. That's like 900 words. She's the author of Demography and Religion in India. So this is a second book. Okay, I wonder if I can still get the first one. What if that came out from the university, from Harvard? Anyway, either way, this is, oh wow, this has tables and graphs and everything. Fantastic. I used to live in India, so I'm hungry to read about it all the time. So that's fantastic. That's great news. All right, let's move on here. What is this next one? Oh my! Oh goodness! Do you want this? She's insatiable. Okay, this is from Tor. Yes, this is from Tor. They almost never send me anything. Do we have a pub sheet, baby? Are you going to eat the pub sheet? No pub sheet. All right, carry on. This is Brandon Sanderson. Fan favorite. Legions of fans, Brandon Sanderson. This is Legion. The Many Lives of Stephen Leeds. Kind of an interesting cover. It shatters into color. I think this is a standalone, if I remember correctly. Stephen Leeds is perfectly sane. It's his hallucinations who are mad. A genius of unrivaled aptitude, Stephen can learn any new skill, vocation, or art in a matter of hours. However, to contain all this, his mind creates hallucinatory people. Stephen calls them aspects, to hold and manifest the information. Wherever he goes, he is joined by a team of imaginary experts to give advice, interpretation, and explanation. He uses them to solve problems for a price. His brain is getting a little crowded, and the aspects have a tendency to take over lives of their own. When a company hires him to recover stolen property, a camera that can allegedly take pictures of the past, Stephen finds himself in an adventure crossing oceans and fighting terrorists. What he discovers may upend the foundation of 3 major world religions and perhaps give him a vital clue to the nature of his aspects. So this is a collection of novellas. The novellas Legion, Legion Skin Deep, and a final story, Lies of the Beholder, all in one volume. So Brandon Sanderson fans will already know this stuff because they hunt for his stuff. They eagerly consume it as it comes out. But I have not read those novellas, so this will be one big story to me. And I like the gimmicky aspect of it. So now we'll move on to the boxes. What have we got here in this first one? It's thin. It is. Oh, fantastic. Okay, great. Do you want this slip one? Sorry, I can't do that often enough. This is the finished copy of a book that I've already read, and I loved it. It's Reading Through the Night by Jane Tompkins. This is she divulges how she underwent a very personal journey of transformation by finding a new way of reading. Her inner journey begins when she becomes unexpectedly captivated by an account of friendship between 2 writers to whom she'd given very little thought, Paul Thoreau and V.S. Naipaul. Thoreau's memoir launches her on a path of introspection that stretches back to the first week of her life in a Bronx hospital, and then quickly forward to her relationship with her mother and the structure of her present marriage. And she goes through. She reads her own autobiography as a sequence of books, and I think we can all do that. This is a terrific. This is it's an example of that kind of sub-reading that I love so much, books that are about books and reading, and this is a terrific example of that. There are 3 more coming in 2018. I don't have any of them so far, even an advanced copy, but this is wonderful if you like that sort of thing, and who doesn't like that sort of thing? And it's short, too, so it's short, but it's $30. Ordinarily, rarely on this channel, but sometimes I will say, this is a rare example where I say you should go out and just buy the book. But how can I ask you to spend $30? Even on a book that I know, this is a book you will reread for probably your whole life. But even so, that's a huge amount of money. Well, one way or another, if you're financially situated, you're going to love this. It's worth it if you can spare the money. And if not, find it at the library as it is, or find a discount copy, because this is our own story. More yours than mine. I came to reading late. Most of you could do the same kind of book. You could tell your autobiography in the form of your reading, which is essentially what this book does, and does it wonderfully, just incredibly evocatively. Ooh, move aside, you little terror. Here's the next box, and it's nice and thick, but it's as light as a feather. So it could be a paperback of some kind? Let's see what we have here. Oh, no, it's 2 paperbacks. Okay. What's that? What's that? She can balance on her hind legs for any length of time. To put it mildly, my basset hound could not do that. This is the latest shipment from Angry Robot, a science fiction publisher here in America. I'm apparently on their list, and that's great because I get tons of great science fiction from them. So this is 2 books, 1 mass market and 1 trade paperback. Let's see here. Okay, so this first one is by N.S. Dolkart, and it's A Breach in the Heavens. That's the cover. Look at that. Tendrils coming down out of the sky. Wizards war against gods to save the world. In the electrifying conclusion to the God Serfs epic fantasy series. So there are other books in this series. Yeah, Silent Hall and Among the Fallen. One of which I think we saw on this channel. One of which I know I read and really liked. And it might have been the second one, which would speak volumes for how well this guy keeps his reader in mind. And making sure that every volume is presentable. But this is the 3rd volume in that series. Well, it's flat, Frida, so it's not gonna satisfy you. The author was homeschooled until high school by his Israeli father and American mother. He is a graduate of the notorious Hampshire College in Amherst, Massachusetts, where he studied creative writing and Jewish studies. In his God Serfs trilogy, explores theology in an epic fantasy setting with gods who do more smiting than explaining. They are not metaphors for his parents, who are lovely people. Okay. So this comes out in early October. I have so much reading to do in October. It's not even funny. So that is A Breach in the Heavens. That's the first of these Angry Robot books. And the second one is the first book in a series. Fantastic. I've been getting a lot of first books in series from these people, and it's been wonderful. This is by D.B. Jackson, and it is Time's Children. Book 1 in the Isle saga. A time traveler trapped in a violent past must protect the orphan child of a murdered sovereign and find a way back to his own time in this astonishing epic fantasy novel. 15-year-old Tobias Dolgen, a walker trained to travel through time, is called to serve at the court of Darjeeling. The sovereign, Merlin IV, wants him to walk back 14 years to prevent the devastating war that will destroy all of Isle. Even though the journey will double Tobias's age, he agrees. But he arrives to discover Merlin has already been assassinated and his court destroyed. The only survivor is the infant princess, Sophia. Still a boy inside his newly adult body, Tobias must find a way to protect the princess from assassins and build himself a future in the past. So this is a rare thing. It's almost never done. Time travel in a fantasy setting is almost never done that I know of. And this is also going to be October. Yes, okay, so that's great. That at least helps with variety. And then we have the last box. This thing here, which I suspect I know what it is, and it's not from a publisher. If it's what I think it is, it's the result of my complaining on camera. I love complaining anyway. I just don't always expect it to get results. Oh. I complained on camera at the beginning of the Pentathon, the easiest flippin' readathon you'll ever do. Way to go, man. Yeah, gun that hog. As I was saying, when that line was completely obliterated by the gunning of a motorcycle engine, I was complaining at the beginning of Matt, the Paperback Junkie's Pentathon, readathon, that I have almost no Tarzan here at Hyde Cottage. I get it, and I send it out. I get it, and I send it out. And I happen to be at a period where I have almost nothing. And reading an Edgar Rice Burroughs book was the first challenge of Pentathon. I had, luckily, a couple of them here, but I wanted a lot more. And Mark at Richardson Reads pointed out that he has plenty of Tarzan. And he sent me a box full. And they aren't just any Tarzan. They're these great black-spined Ballantine paperbacks that have Neil Adams covers and Boris Vallejo covers. And there's like a huge... I now have Tarzan. Here, wait till I show you this. This is incredibly generous. Look at that. I have a ton of Tarzan now. These covers are so beautiful. Tarzan and the Golden Lion. In the video that I was complaining, I said that I guess on one level, I don't usually read mass markets anymore. On one level, I think I was probably waiting for, I don't know, really nice trade paperback compendiums or something like that. But these are the forms that I want to read these things in. These are pulpy mass market paperbacks. This is the kind of thing you want in mass market paperback. There's Tarzan in the City of Gold. There's La, the High Priestess of Opar. Tarzan in the Forbidden City. Giant eel leaking blood into the water. Tarzan and the Ant-Men, which is a hokey, gimmicky novel about Tarzan fighting miniature people, and yet it's better than An Infinite Jest. Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle. Tarzan and the Madman. A frustrating Tarzan novel. Our hero spends most of it completely helpless. So you wouldn't think you'd get away with that, but Tarzan the Magnificent. Look at that, the simplicity of that cover. I would object if it were a wild hunting dog, but if Tarzan's going around killing cats, I can't really object to that now, can I? Look at this one. Tarzan the Terrible. There he is fighting a Triceratops. Tarzan the Untamed. Very weak Tarzan fighting off a marauding vulture. Jungle Tales of Tarzan. This is a Neil Adams cover. This is a collection of shorter stories made. It's perfect for pentathons because you don't have to read a whole novel. There's Tarzan and the Jewels of Opar. There's a Neil Adams cover with Tarzan's ass front and center as he approaches the courtroom. Tarzan and the Lion Man, which not only features a double of Tarzan, but also an ape with delusions of godhood. Tarzan and the Leopard Man. Look at that cover. Look at how beautiful that is. Oh, man. Neil Adams, of course, was an advertising illustrator, but also a famous comic book artist. You can tell. Tarzan and the Lost Empire. Tarzan finds a contemporary hidden splinter offshoot of ancient Rome. So there's lots of cod Latin in here. Not quite as much cod Latin as is in Harry Potter, but still. Tarzan the Invincible. Look at that. And the Son of Tarzan. This is the introduction of Korak the Killer. This is the Tarzan novel that the Edgar Rice Burroughs novel that I actually talked about in my Tarzan week on Pentathon, only with a totally different cover. I think this is supposed to be Korak on the cover. I think that it is. I'm not really sure. Looks a little big. And it has the Tarzan leopard skin loincloth. So it might not be. But it has a leopard skin loincloth instead of a plain loincloth. And he has a headband. So that could be Neil Adams' iconography for it being Korak instead of Tarzan. But that's not the only thing in this box. Because Mark is so generous. He also sent things that I didn't have. He sent a bunch of other Edgar Rice Burroughs stuff. Look at this Frank Frazetta cover for The Moon Man. Look at that. Oh, and then Carson of Venus, which I don't have any Carson of Venus. Well, now I do. I've got 4 out of, I think, 5 or 6. Look at that, huh? Edgar Rice, this is another great Frazetta cover. Edgar Rice Burroughs just decided to stick with the formula that was doing good. So we have Carson of Venus, we have the Wizard of Venus and Pirate Blood. We have Escape on Venus. Look at that. Look at that cover. And we have Lost on Venus. So I have an enormous pile of... it's going to make a Steve Pyramid impossible because I couldn't balance these things on top of normal books, but I can give you them all on their own because this is a whole shelf of reading. I have a whole shelf that I'm just going to put these on. Look at that. A whole stack of Edgar Rice Burroughs. Thank you so much, Mark. How wonderful. How wonderful to know. Really, it's life-affirmingly wonderful to know that egregious complaining will eventually get you what you want. But in addition to all of that Edgar Rice Burroughs, we also have a Steve pile of books. So we have The Economics of Religion in India, which I have a feeling I'm going to wish was just longer. And then we have Legion by Brandon Sanderson, about a young man with the strangest of all multiple personality disorders, it sounds like. Then Reading Through the Night, which I highly recommend. Alaskan Holiday by Debbie McComber. Nothing But Dust, a novel translated from the French, Patagonian Pampas. Then Time's Children and A Breach in the Heavens from the folks at Angry Robots. So that plus a mountain of Edgar Rice Burroughs is our last mail haul of the week. So I now have a little terror who is all keyed up. So we're going to go outside and walk off a lot of that energy. So that's it for now. But I will see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.